Michael, hi Sean. Thoughts on Gladiator 2's budget going from $165 million to $310 million. With this budget, the movie would have to make $700 million to break even. So this came out in a report yesterday about the production of Gladiator 2, and there was just a series of things. Some of it was the strike, some of it was production accidents that caused the budget on Gladiator 2 to go from $165 million to $310 million. Now, right off the bat, $165 million for Gladiator 2, in my mind, is extraordinarily risky as is. Because you're talking about a sequel to a movie that came out over 20 years ago, a quarter of a century ago. And it was a movie that it's not obvious what the sequel is. If you've seen the first Gladiator, they've been talking about doing Gladiator 2 since that movie made a lot of money. But there's not an obvious sequel to make. Thus, it's taken 25 years to do it. So this is always a gamble. And when you put the budget at $310 million to break even on that, you have to make one of the top 5 highest grossing R-rated movies of all time. I'm pretty sure this is going to be an R-rated movie because the first one was rated R. That is such a burden to put on your movie. You create a scenario where, generally speaking, Gladiator 2 makes $500 million. That's a great number. But now it loses several $100 million, even if it makes $500 million. You just created a scenario where it's almost impossible for your movie to be profitable. It has to make double what the last movie did. That seems really unlikely to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the world has a hunger for another Gladiator movie. But Gladiator itself is kind of one of those movies that there were more of kind of those sword and sandal period piece, these epics. That was more of a thing then. And it was in the middle of all that. So those just aren't the movies that are successful like they were back then. But even back then, it's not like there was a ton of Gladiator. And it was like the right movie at the right time. Russell Crowe, that's the movie that really launched him to the A-list. He had started movies, L.A. Confidential, Virtuosity. He had movies before that, but this is the one where it was like, everyone has known who Russell Crowe is since Gladiator. Joaquin Phoenix is the villain in the film. This is it's the movie that put him on the map. He'd starred in stuff before. His brother was real famous. River Phoenix was Indiana Jones. But he appears in Gladiator, and then he's been a top actor. Like, the first Gladiator was very much a lightning in a bottle situation. The right movie at the right time where those movies did well. Top of Ridley Scott's game. So many things going for it. And I always thought this one was a pretty big risk at $165 million. At $310 million, just it's batty, it's crazy. I don't get it. They didn't mean to do that. It was all of these things that happened, but it's kind of that side of Hollywood that it's tough for anyone normal to even understand how you do. Like, how do you accidentally go over $145 million? Double your budget. Like, how do you miscalculate by that amount? Like, that is wild. That is crazy. And that's what happened here. So, yeah, the article that I read, I don't know if I only saw the truncated one or if the article itself was just very short. It was only a few paragraphs that said, this happened, this happened, this happened. It didn't really dive into too much, just explained, yeah, this movie has cost way more than they expected. Management has not been very good. We got problems here. But yeah, I think just another example. I think Hollywood very soon is going to tighten up their budgets. I thought it was going to after last year, but then again, this spending happened last year. This wasn't greenlit after last year. This is stuff that happened while Hollywood was like, oh crap, $300 million movies are really difficult to make profitable. And it's definitely really tough to make a lot of money on that. And, when you do that with an Avengers movie, there's a safe bet that you can actually make $1.5, $2 billion where you actually make hundreds of $1 million. With an R-rated Gladiator movie, at $310 million, the best case scenario, like if things go really well, you're still only making like $100 million. I'd love to have $100 million, but on a $310 million bet, those are not the numbers that you should be like. When you make a bet that big, you need Avengers numbers on the table. Avengers numbers are nowhere on the table for Gladiator 2. So, but baffling, if you ask me.
Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.